The title of this video is Change Your Energy, Change Your Life. I know that's been said before by a lot of different people, but it's so true. I was feeling a little funky this afternoon, and I had to remind myself to change up my energy or let myself just be and relax, not to force anything. And if I feel stuck, I have to change what I'm doing. For many years, getting going on my own spiritual self growth journey, I would get into a bad negative spiral and I would stay there for months and not really know it, just kind of chilling at a 5 out of 10. For me, my own version of 5 out of 10. Everyone's has their own different spectrums, but for me, um, no one else would know this except me that I was at a 5 out of 10, and I would stay there for months and weeks, and soon it became days, and I became more aware and noticed my energy state dropping. And now, with all the habits that I have in place, like a morning routine, and just being aware, reminding myself to snap back into the present moment, breathe if I have to, switch up my activity, engage, focus in a different way, change my energy. Because if I just start crippling, boohoo me, like my life sucks, and that just spins downwards, and I don't change anything about it, I'm just like a drowning ship. So you have to make a choice. Something I feel really inspired to do is share my music, tell my story, share my truth through my music with my own messages that are coming through me, and just make it all one big thing. I don't know how I can actually play them on YouTube because I've played my songs twice on YouTube now, like just like this, and I start playing them and then it cuts off my live video because of copyright. So I'll have to figure that out. But this is more just me freestyling. My intention is just to create right now and share, and hopefully this touches somebody. And at the very, very least, is a reminder to my future self that we are well on the way. Slow down. So what's going on? I have a song that's releasing this Friday, March 27th, called Coincidence or Fate. The lyrics go, I'm well on my way, coincidence or fate. Gets into the topic of free will. I act as if I have a choice in this life. I act as if I'm in control. Although that I feel like many times forces can challenge me and create this resistance where I feel inferior, that I can't overcome it, or that I have to choose something. But our will and our spirit has the ability to decide things. And if we get enough energy behind it, we can really make things happen through decision. And my first song that's out is called Every Time I Chose It, which goes, everywhere I go, in my heart I know, everything it grows, every time I chose it. And that's about whatever you focus on is going to grow. So if you focus on an energy state and you live in an energy state that's low, you're going to attract more of that low vibration to you. And if you live in a vibrant energy state, that's one more of abundance and love and being present. And it's an energy game. We live in a universe that's an energy game. And if we think about the word energy, it's a balance, it's a push-pull, and it's a perfect river-like flow. And you can leverage it so you can row down the river and not always up the river. Now, you might be asking, well, sometimes you might have to row up the river. And that's true. You might have to go against the grain sometimes to get to where you want to go. And I hear a lot of spiritual teachers sometimes talk about resistance as a good thing and resistance as a bad thing. And I think there's good and bad in resistance. They're not, I think I could say that even better. It's not that there's only good and bad resistance. There might be resistance that's coming from a place of alignment, and there also might be resistance coming at you that's coming from a place of you being out of alignment. So when you're really out of alignment, when I was really out of alignment in my life, That manifested as lots of depression, lots of lack of purpose, complete financial lack, lots of self-doubts and unhappiness, and a couple scares in life. And that is all the fear-based energy, and the universe is shoving it back in my face saying, hey, wake up, wake up, wake up, until it comes to a scream. um, Now you could listen sooner than that. You don't have to wait for catastrophe to change your life. And that's sort of where I'm at now. Like, I feel like on a psychological level, I've experienced catastrophe in my past. So now it's a matter of when I feel myself going down that rabbit hole, to snap myself out of it and bring myself back to the present moment, which is where it all happens, as far as I can tell. So why are you saying all this? Well, I don't really know. I think of Ed Sheeran right now. He talks about songwriting, and at first our songwriting might be very poor because we don't have the skill built yet. We might have the ideas or the intuition, we might have the right ingredients, but we don't have the skills to actually execute the songwriting. So right now I don't really have the skills perhaps to communicate on YouTube Live in a way that makes a lot of sense yet. And through practice I can get there. So his analogy was, you have to turn on the faucet and let all the dirty water flow out, and then eventually it becomes pure and clean water that you can use. So the more I do live videos like this, or just talk about out loud about what's going on in my conscience, what's coming through my soul to you, to the internet, to the world, I'm offering this frequency. Soon it will be running water, because I would think that to 98% of the world, if they were to watch this particular video, it'd be like, that's pretty not cohesive. I don't even know what the topic is. It was change your energy, change your life, and tell your story, share your truth. Yeah. I'm still learning how to tell my story. We all have stories. We're all on journeys. I think the biggest one is, well, not the biggest one that's interesting to me right now is helping people. Like my mom comes up as an example, who has had an interesting relationship with money in her life, not always healthy, so to speak, um, with her habits. Like everybody has their just habits that have been passed down to them. And so her financial habits are perhaps not in alignment with her true essence, which is abundance. She's incredibly vibrant and able to connect and be a caregiver and really impact people. Yet, if you have um, an outdated belief about money that, oh, money's bad, I can't market this because marketing it is bad. Well, what if marketing it saves somebody's life? What if marketing your message and telling your story and sharing your truth, 100 people or even just one person says, thank you for sharing this, I needed to hear that. So if you're coming from a good place, I don't see why you wouldn't want to market or share your message. This helps me a lot right now, knowing when I really believe in something or not. I'm making all sorts of content and I'm testing. I'm doing vlogs and text and songs and videos and whatever it is. And if I don't feel inclined to share it, um, it's a great question to ask why. Why are you afraid? Are you afraid of what your grandparents think? Are you afraid of what your friend from high school thinks? Yes. Does that really matter in the big grand scheme of things, of a 500-year scale, or even a 5,000 or 5 million year scale? Does it really matter what I say on this YouTube video right here in this moment in time in 2020? Might as well speak your truth. What I could see this turning into is a reminder to myself. I don't know where this came from. I must have picked it up from somewhere, but a reminder to myself is something I've been sharing on my social media a lot, and it helps me give myself advice. When I say, here's a reminder to myself, I have to learn something. I have to integrate something that I perhaps made a mistake on, and I can give myself advice as if I'm coming from a wiser place, and I can give my younger self advice. Like, what would you tell your 18-year-old self or your 10-year-old self? You'd say, hey, have fun. You'd say, hey, it doesn't really matter what they think. Stick to what you love to do, and it'll work out. And they might say, no, don't do it. Don't sing. You're not any good, which is a true story. My mom told me when I first started playing and singing music, she said, don't sing. And I would sing some and just be totally innocent about it and just curious about singing. And she'd be like, no, don't sing. Don't sing, like verbatim to my face. Don't sing. And that has stuck with me. And I'm glad it hasn't been to prove her wrong sort of thing. Now that I've learned to sing more, it's turned into this. Well, it's not turned into anything. I was going to learn how to sing and improve how to learn how to sing no matter what, because I enjoy doing it. I always can imagine it improving and being better. Ever since I started trying to sing, I could hear myself singing better. So it's like, okay, if I can imagine it better, I know it's possible. At least that's the logic I put. I don't know how I thought of that when I was just starting out, because based on where I started out, if I could find some footage of me singing, it was not great. It was I did not come into the game with a natural singing voice. It was not too hot. But that sheer curiosity and determination has just made it easy for me to keep showing up, even though it's hard to keep showing up. In moments, I've found myself showing up because I clearly enjoy it. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I'm telling my story and sharing my truth. That's all you really can do. It's actually a song idea I'm working on. It goes something like, tell your story, share your truth. What else can you really do? I hold a mirror up to you. Something like that. All right, I hope this message connected with you in some way. Please leave comments down below, your thoughts. I'd love to connect with you and hear what's going on in your world. And with that, this is another reminder to myself to keep learning, growing, changing my energy so I can change my life. Focus on what I want to grow. Trust that I'm on my path. Even if I experience resistance, I can learn from that resistance. It's not necessarily a bad thing if I experience resistance. It could actually be a good thing. It could be a gift. It could be a lesson. Ta-ta for now. This is so funny. It's like a talk show. All right. Bye.